Actually, maybe I forgot how to speak English actually, and so which is why when I started the first segment of this episode, so I failed to, how should I say, what happened was that so I instantly forgot how to start episodes of podcast. But actually, and which is why I deleted the first segment, and this is the first segment I newly created. And anyway, maybe that's no reason actually. So I created an episode of this podcast last week, and that was when I caught an illness. That was when I caught a cold, and that was a disease of abdomen. So I had a sensation of vomiting, and which is what I told, which is what I spoke out, about which I spoke out in the last episode. And anyway, so I was talking about my own illness. I caught my own disease. I caught last time, not last week, and last in the last episode or last time, and and I think I have fully recovered, or I have fully got over that disease. Anyway, so that disease was sort of tough for me, and that is the most difficult symptom was the sensation of vomiting, as I have told you. And anyway, so but actually I have my appetite has come back, so which is why my appetite is working as decently as always. And anyway, so hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and this greeting has nothing to do with the main track or the title of this episode. And what I'm going to talk about is majority rule. Majority rule is a central topic or the main track of this episode. And I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode at first. So in most cases, sometimes I digress at first, and I tell you in the middle or at the last of each episode, and such things have happened in my past episodes. And of course, some episodes are started or begun by, some episodes are begun by the introductions, which took place at the beginning of each episode. There are such episodes, but actually, other episodes have have introductions started which start in the middle of each of those episodes. And anyway, so I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. Majority rule is the safest, but is not perfect. So the conclusion is you need to keep thinking of the better future of your own countries, not of your countries, but of the future of your own communities. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So the conclusion is you need to keep thinking of the better future of your own communities, not only the countries, but not countries themselves, but your communities, and which is important for you anyway, at least. And how should I? That is not the thing that I was wondering how to say or what to say, but actually, so anyway, I watched that. How should I say? Is this fine to start this episode? And so I watched a video created by Mr. Hiroyuki Nishimura, and the title of that video, so the video was created by Mr. Hiroyuki Nishimura, who is a famous entrepreneur of my country. And by the way, so I live in Japan, and I'm Japanese with Japanese nationality. And the title of that video was "Should correct things be decided by the number of people?" And so this is my translation into English. So original Japanese title was 正しさは人数で決めるべきか, which is original Japanese title of his video, or of that video of his. And this is a sort of answer. So so it's really I think it's really arrogant for me or for him that I'm telling his answer. So this is anyway. So please understand this. What I'm going to talk about is one of the answers to his question. So his question was, should correct things be decided by the number of people, or should right things be decided by the number of people? And my answer is majority rule is the safest, but it's not perfect. And when he was talking about this question, so he posed or he used an example of Nazi Germany and in it. So German people chose Mr. Adolf Hitler as the leader of their own country, and as you have already known, so the majority people decided to persecute and decimate Jewish people, and that decimation or that persecution or that decimation and persecution were carried out by carried on or executed by Mr. Adolf Hitler and his people, for example, Hermann Göring or Heinrich Himmler. There are examples of his people who had obeyed the orders of Mr. Adolf Hitler, and at least, and the result of the Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany lost in the Second World War, and Mr. Adolf Hitler killed himself, or he committed suicide, and which is how so Nazi Germany lost. What Nazi Germany? I don't know whether Nazi Germany surrendered, and at least there was a battle named the Battle of Berlin, and in which Nazi Germany was lost by the attack done by Soviet Union. And anyway, so at least Soviet Union attacked Berlin, and which is how Nazi Germany was lost. And this is my understanding, but so majority rule is useful. Majority rule itself is a useful tool. And for example, if when you find some populist or some weird people who are trying to become the leaders of your communities, for example, please understand such a situation. And if your communities have no systems of majority rules, if your communities have no system of majority rules, so those weird people or those wrong people may become the leaders of your communities. But actually, so by the tool of majority rules, you can reject those weird people or bizarre people becoming the leaders of your communities. So in which sense, so majority rule. Maybe I don't have to talk about the system of majority rule. So please imagine the system of election or political election or vote. So it's fine to, how should I say, nay or how should I say, and it's fine to vote for no to those wrong leaders becoming the leaders of your communities. So some people who are supposed to be right can get the opportunities to be chosen as the leaders of your communities. And which is how, so in which sense, so majority rule majority rule has been found the best system of politics. And when it comes to the dictatorships, or for example dictatorships, and for yes, and so there's one dictator controlling every part or every corner of his or her community. And so that dictator, and people make mistakes, and in terms of, especially in the course of leading his or her own community, or leading their own communities. So which is why, so dictators are people irrespective of their genders or their sex, and which is why, so if they are men or women, and dictators sometimes make mistakes in in guiding or leading their own committees. Those dictators are controlling, and sometimes they try to become rich, sacrificing the local people of their communities. And such examples had happened in the past. For example, the dictatorship in some East Asian countries, or even European countries had even European countries had many dictators in the past. And I forgot his name, Ceausescu of Bulgaria. I thought the name of the dictator who governed or who controlled an East European country anyway. So those Slavic countries or those Eastern European countries, some East European countries had dictators, and the most recent example is Mr. I forgot his name, the political leader of Belarus, Lukashenko. Mr. Lukashenko, or President Lukashenko has been called he has been called a last dictator, or the last dictator, maybe maybe in European countries or in Europe. And anyway, so in which sense, so I think the majority rule is the safest way. But actually, of course, majority rule is not perfect. And one of the examples is, as Mr. Hiroyuki Nishimura had spoken out, one of the examples is Nazi Germany, or the majority German people, the majority contemporary German people at the time before the Second World War, including the time of the Second World War, including the period of the Second World War. So, which is why, of course, anyway, when it comes to choosing the political leaders, it's fine that, the constituent people think about the future, or the bright future, or how to bring the future of their communities to better courses. So, which is why, I think majority rule itself is the best way for at least in my perspective. But actually, so it's fine not to how should I say, it's fine not to forget to think about the futures of their communities. So in other words, if you live in countries of democracies, so for example, Great Britain or France, or such West European countries are examples maybe. And if you live in such countries, so it's fine to. So in other words, you need to be careful if you need to be careful of always remembering the best features, or the bright features of your communities, including how to make your communities better places, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So which is why, so the conclusion is, wait a moment please. The conclusion of this episode is, you need to keep thinking of better future of your own countries. So I don't know whether I can find out that article I wrote about the politics, and so I had written articles having similar topics to this episode. So which is why, so if I could find out, if I can find out that article, so I'm going to write the link of that article into the description column of this episode, and including the video of Mr. Hiroyuki Nishimura I was talking about. So anyway, so if you get interested in those reference information, well, if you get interested in those that video of his, including my article I wrote before. So please check out the description column of this episode, so that you can find them out. So this is all the stuff, and I'm sorry for the sound of siren. and of maybe ambulance, or maybe that is the siren of ambulance. So anyway, so that's it. I'm sorry, before actually finishing this episode, I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. The title is Majority Rule is the safest, but it's not perfect. The conclusion is you need to keep thinking of better future of your own communities. And by the way, so I was talking about politics, but actually I'm a this is my side hustle or side way or side business, but actually I'm an adult content creator. So I'm not a professional politician. I'm not a professional politician. So I'm an office worker actually. So office worker of white color. And so which is why, so if you misunderstand that, I'm a politician or I'm working for a government or something, or I'm a bureaucrat, if you have they are misunderstandings. I'm just an office worker, and my side hustle is an adult content creation. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you.